Hi. So this is a brief snippet from a song on my album called The Story of You. The album is called The Story of You. It'll be released at the end of June, June 30th of 2022. This song is probably the most critical. It's the most political, I would say. Not really political, but maybe a call to action, I suppose, is probably the best way to describe it. Um, it discusses the despair and the loneliness and the sadness, and also some of the anger and frustration that has been a product of the past few years, both with a pandemic that has isolated us all, but also with some of the politics that have become really hyperpolarized, and I think have made us as people more alienated from each other in some ways, and maybe angrier with each other for, I'm not sure what the reasons are. In any event, the song is called As the Waters Rise, and it's a little bit about the idea of the skepticism that's planted about science, which, I think that global warming is a real thing. I think the fact that our waters are rising is a real thing, and that there are things we really need to do to be able to mitigate some of those things. So it's a song that is, in the beginning, about the hopelessness and despair and isolation, and that talks about how we resolve that. And so I'm going to give you a couple of snippets from that song that hopefully teases you into wanting to hear it when you chase down the album. So this is how it goes. Caught in a downward spiral, swirling in life most viral. I can't help but think of what we've been through and how it has changed our ways. Distrust and criticizing, meanness and polarizing, alone in a boat capsizing, as cold as ice as the waters rise. And there are two more verses that sort of weave through this journey from hopelessness to hopefulness. And so a snippet from the final verse that will give you some idea about how we resolve. And that is, so there is hope for better if we can work together. No place for hate, it's left at the gate. It opens to show the way. So this song, I don't want to give you too much, but the idea, I think, is that we really need each other. We benefit from each other, even when we have varying ideas, as long as we can listen to each other and to actually hear what it is that we're saying. I think the one thing we all have in common is that we have an obligation to hand off a planet that is in good condition to the next generation and the generations to come. And at the same time, we probably have an obligation also to be kind to each other and to help each other manage through. So check out the album. It's called The Story of You. It's a series of stories that have spanned a large interval of time for me, but this is the most current song, and I'll be interested to hear what your thoughts are about it. Look for it on all your streaming services. The Story of You, Jeff Randolph.